Okay, in this video we're going to see an example of what we call user-controlled repetition. This is different from counter-controlled repetition, which we've been doing in the previous videos. You know, with counter-controlled, it was always the loop was set up to run X amount of times, 5,000 shamrocks, 10,000 smileys. User-controlled is different. Watch this. This is a game. My game generates a random number and asks the user to guess what it is. I'll guess 5. Oh, wow, I won on the first try. How about that? I'd like to play again. I'll say yes. This is what we mean by a user-controlled loop. I can play as often as I want, or as many times as I want, until I get tired of playing the game. It's not like a set amount of times. It depends on me and my whims and how many times I feel like playing. So finally, when I enter N for no, the loop will end and the program ends. So let's look at the code here. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to get rid of the looping aspect, and I'll add it so you can see the technique. It's an easy technique. What I do if I'm doing like a game like this, for example, let me get this shift. There we go. Shift tab to get that, bump that back. Okay, so this is the game working one time. Okay, I'm going to get one guess. Guess what it is. I'll guess 4. I lost, and that's the end. It's not asking me, do you want to play again or anything. So if I'm going to do a program like this, I'll typically just get it working one time. I'm not thinking about the loop or, you know, anything like that. So I'll just explain the code here. We're generating I have a couple of integers, one to receive a random number, which I'll generate in a moment. I'll show you that. And then also one to receive the user's guess. And so we have a couple of integer variables. This is what we call seeding the random number sequence. So you have this little rand function that will spit out a random number, okay, some huge random number, okay, multi-digit random number. That's rand right there. So that's like the little random number machine. But in order to kind of get him started generating this sequence of random numbers, you have to seed the sequence. So it, like by, you know, provide the rand a starting number so he can kind of get the ball rolling generating the other numbers. So srand is seeding that random number sequence. Now the thing is, you typically will want to seed the sequence against the system clock, which is why I've put the time function in there. So you'll get different random numbers every time. If I were to hard code like a number, you can seed it with just a hard coded number, 0 or 1 or something like that, but you're always going to get the same random, they're not random, they're pseudo random numbers. It would always be the same numbers every time. Which is not fun if you're trying to program a game or play a game. It's just going to be the same, you know, thing every time. So that's why you would want to seed the sequence against the system clock, which is changing every nanosecond, right? So anyway, once we've seeded the sequence, this is what you do for you get some, rand will spit out some huge random number, like multi-digit random number. But if you want numbers 1 through 10, like we're doing in this game, you would do rand modulus 10. Recall that the modulus operator returns the remainder of a quotient. So you do mod 10, and that'll give you remainders 0 through 9. But to get numbers 1 through 10, I have to offset by 1. So there's that code. And the random number 1 through 10 is in randnum. Okay, then I say to the user, I'm thinking of a number, guess what it is. The user guesses. We absorb that with cin. And now if the user guess is not equal to the random number, sorry, you lose, or else you win. I put the more likely option up at the top. That's better programming practice. Because, you know, it's just looking for a true when you're making a decision. It wants to find that true. If you know it's 90% of the time, this is going to be true. They're not going to guess correctly. And so you put that right at the top. It finds the true. It executes that layer of the sandwich, and boom, it's done. Okay, so now let's add the random or the user-controlled repetition. So what you'll do, this is an easy technique. You're going to create a variable just like a character in this case, because they're pressing yes or no to go again. I've called it go again, and I've initialized it to the affirmative, meaning yes. Recall that character constants or character literals have single quotes. They're encased in single quotes, unlike string literals like this one, which go in double quotes. So that's a character literal in single quotes. So that's your first step. And then what we'll do is we're going to sandwich the whole game, not this one. The seed is like a housekeeping thing. You only have to do that once. But all the rest of this is going to be looped. So we're going to sandwich the whole game right down to here in a big while loop. Let me indent this so it looks better. Okay. So we're saying while go again is yes. And then we're just going to keep doing the game again and again. Now, so that's step 2. And then step 3, you have to give the user a way out. You have to say, do you want to play again? Yes or no? Ask them every time. So I'll put this at the very bottom of the loop. Okay. Asking them if they want to play again. Absorbing the input into the go again variable. And then it goes back up to the top of the loop. And if go again was yes, then they get another round. If go again was no, or anything besides little y, in fact, the loop will end. Okay, this is the end of the while loop. Okay, if you want to cover all corners, for example, maybe they have the caps lock key on, you can do this. Okay, so there it is. That is user-controlled repetition, meaning it's not like a preset number of times that the loop is going to run. It's the user calling the shots and deciding whether or not they're going to do another iteration, another round of the game. And it just depends on how many times the user feels like playing.